So Bob, tell us about the secret project and how the idea came about.
Okay, the secret project. Well, first I wanted to make a podcast, and that was the important thing. And I wanted to make a podcast because I came across podcasts and I said, man, these things are awesome. I love these. But and I'd always wanted to get into doing audio work. But the first thing I was up against was, so what would I do a podcast about? I don't know what to do a podcast on. I started thinking, okay, if I could do a podcast about anything at all in the whole universe, what would that be? And often, for me, the best way to understand that and get to the answer is to think back to my childhood, because that was a time when I was happy, I was secure, I was faithful mostly, and I was really had no worries. And so I went back to my childhood and thought, wow, what did I enjoy so much back then? And what I enjoyed was treasures. I enjoyed treasures. I love the whole idea of sunken treasure, buried treasure. My dad used to take us gold panning every weekend, and I remember the very first time I found gold in my pan. I was like so excited. I was like, are we rich, Daddy? Are we rich? And he said, no, son, that's not even enough to buy a candy bar. And I was like, okay, but it's gold, right? And he was like, yeah, okay, good enough. And it was just, there was something about finding the treasure that was so appealing to me. So I thought, well, that's it. We make a podcast that becomes a treasure hunt, and be able to share this treasure hunt with everybody across the whole world. And, start off locally, start off small. I have absolutely no budget to begin with, so let's just do things that don't cost a lot of money and work our way into something that can cost a lot more eventually. So my hope is to go ahead and get enough talent gathered to be able to do all the things that it'll take to create this podcast. The important thing about the podcast that makes it different than any other podcast, well, not any other podcast, but any other podcast that I've heard of so far, is that it'll be similar to an alternate reality game, and therefore it will be an immersive podcast, meaning that as you listen to the podcast and you hear the stories on the podcast, you will be brought into those stories in your world, in your environment. You may get a telephone call from one of the fictitious characters, or you may see an advertisement in the local paper, or you may just stumble across one of the relics or artifacts that are a clue within the podcast that lead to where the treasure is. Finally, I'll be able to give back to the art community, I hope, in actually sending out a call for entries to be able to create artwork which becomes the treasure, and the story can be built around that creation. That's one thought. And we've had several. We've had several meetings. We've had several brainstorming meetings where we've come up with other ideas. So at this point in time, I guess there may be some 10 different treasures that we may end up using. And but I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it. Although it's very late. I'm tired. Not showing a lot of enthusiasm, but I really am, and can't wait to get it underway.